that settle in wherever you have found your spot to be for these few minutes that we have together. And as your body is physically settling, I would encourage you just allow your mind and your emotions to settle as well. Chances are we were all busy and doing and acting and taking care of things before that moment when your reminder for meditation came on. And so just give yourself a little grace and just allow your physical self to settle, your mental self, your emotional self, whatever that looks like for you. And then I would invite you to either gently close your eyes or just bring your eyes down a bit. And as you do that, let that symbolize that for these few minutes, you're going to not let the world come into your space, come into your thoughts, and you're going to try to honor the showing up that you've done today, the showing up to do something for you. Now that doesn't mean that if our minds do wander that we've done something wrong. It just means that let's go into this with a commitment to honor the fact that we've shown up. And so with all of that in place, let's begin to breathe together. So just take a nice, slow, deep breath in. And then open up your mouth and just sigh it out. A nice, slow, deep breath in. And sigh it out. One more breath in. And a breath out. If that rhythm feels right for you, just continue right there at that pace. If you need something a little slower, a little more drawn out, then you take care of that for yourself. If you need something a little less slow, then adjust that way. But again, let's honor our showing up physically, mentally, emotionally, and find a rhythm of breath that does that honors how we feel in this moment, here and now. And so for our few minutes that we have today, I'm going to use the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. There are so many amazing lessons that he shared with us while he was on this earth. And there's one in particular that speaks to my heart, no matter when it is that I hear it or what I'm going through. Except I want to take it to a different direction for us today. But listen to these words first and just kind of let them sit with you. Just let them hold space. And then we'll see where the journey takes us in these minutes that we have. He said, when we walk like we are rushing, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We have to walk in a way that we print peace and serenity on the earth. We need to be aware of the contact between our feet and the earth and walk as if we are kissing it. And I love that idea because I feel so connected to nature, but I want to take his words a little bit different direction. And while I think that maybe on the surface, his intention with this lesson was about the way that we care for this incredible earth that we've been given, the space that we're allowed to take up for the time that we're here. But I also think, knowing the other lessons that he's given us in his lifetime, that he intended something a little beyond just our care for the physical planet. And so I want to just add a little bit to his quote and use that to frame these few minutes. When we walk like we are rushing, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We need to walk in a way that instead we only print peace and serenity on the earth. And then he goes on to say we need to be aware of the contact between our physical feet and the earth. But I'd like for you to think about that contact as more of your energy, the energy that you radiate at all these different parts of life with all the different things that we go through. We all send out energy and vibrations. Sometimes we are aware of it, sometimes we are not. But just think about, as you physically walk through your day, what kind of energy is going out into the atmosphere? Not just the physical contact of your feet, but your energy into the air. And then we can take his quote and begin to understand this idea of, instead of sending out rushing and anxiety and sorrow, we actually can begin to transmit peace and serenity just through our presence. I know it sounds like a really tall order, that there are a lot of things in life that cause us to rush and cause us to feel anxious and cause us to feel sorrow. But this is not about the suffering or the trauma or the disappointments that we go through. It's about what we do with them. And so I want to ask us 3 questions to connect back to this quote, and then we're going to just sit. We don't have to answer them. We're going to just sit and let the questions just hold space where we are and see what arises in your mind, what arises in your spirit. So as we sit here together today, my first question is, what do you think the earth felt from the energy that you radiated out last week? And this is not to make us feel guilty or disappointed, but we need to reflect and we need to be aware. And so you each have your schedule, you have your things that you encountered last week, and doesn't mean they had to all be bad. Just ask yourself, what do you think the earth felt from the energy that you radiated out last week? And then my second question is, how do you feel when you're in the presence of someone whose energy is complaining and negative and hurtful and impatient? We all have people, maybe in our current life, but we've all had people in our life over the years that do that. They come into a room, they enter into a conversation, they walk into a meeting, and you can feel from their presence the negativity and the complaining spirit and the hurtful words and the impatient tone. And how do you feel when you're around people like that? What does it do to your energy, to your perspective? And then the third question, are we ready to refine the kind of contact that we have with our world? And when I say our world, I do mean the physical parts of it, but I also mean the atmospheric energy around us. Are we ready to refine it? And I love the verb of refine because it's not as hard as just change or fix or do over, but refine. Let's just make it the best it can be with a little tweak here and there, a little more awareness, a little more intention. What if when you walk into the room or you enter into the conversation, all of a sudden peace fills the space? What a gift you will be to the world. And maybe for many of you, maybe you already are, but I know for me, this is a daily commitment. It's a daily walk. And sometimes I feel a prick on my heart when I know I've been impatient or I know I have rushed. And then my rushing and my impatience begins to bubble into someone else's space. And sometimes I actually stop and I apologize, and sometimes I'm so ashamed of what I've transmitted to them that I just leave without saying anything. And so when I tell you it is a daily walk, it means that I get what it means to live in this world, this busy world, this world that has hurtful situations and impatient people. But I also know that when I have acted in a way that my presence kisses the earth, like he said, I see it on people's faces. I see it on the relaxed shoulders on their body. I feel it in the energy that they're sending back. And I'm realizing now that my times of being the impatient, rushing, printing of anxiety on the earth are becoming less and less, because I'm having intentions more and more. So my third question was, are we ready to refine our contact with the earth, our contact with the world, our contact with the fields of energy all around us? And so let's just each sit where we are in our space. It's not, again, about feeling guilty about what we've done in the past or even today. It's about the fact, like I said when we began, we honor that we showed up. We showed up and we seek. And we grow still. And we learn a little bit more about ourselves. So just let those questions just kind of hang in the air. And see what comes up in your mind, what comes up in your spirit. And if the thoughts become a distraction, you come back to the breath. A slow breath in and a full breath out. And as we prepare to close these minutes that we have together, I would invite you that wherever you are, just bring your palms together. And rather than just letting them sit here at our heart, I'd like us to close out our time with intention for what are we going to do tomorrow. Meditation does not ask us to come and do penance for whatever we've already done in the past. It asks us to show up in the present moment. That's where our growth and our refinement come, in this moment. So as your palms are together, if you feel comfortable, just allow them to come up and rest right in the center of your forehead. And as the thumbs sit right there on your forehead, let's just each commit that our thoughts tomorrow, not the days after, just tomorrow, our thoughts tomorrow will exemplify our desire to let our contact with this world be like kissing the earth. And then lower the hands a bit and let them just hover right there in front of your lips. And let's just commit that our words and our tone tomorrow will reflect our commitment. That everything that comes from our mouth will be as if we are kissing the earth. And then allow the thumbs just to come down and let the hands rest at the heart. And let's just commit that our actions going forward tomorrow will be a reflection of what is in our heart and what is in our spirit. And rather than responding to the world with the rushing and the anxiety and the sorrow that we see all around us, we'll respond differently. And it will reflect what's happening right here in this moment in our heart and in our spirit. And then the people around us tomorrow will feel as if our presence has been a gift to their energy. One day at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. Namaste.